Hi guys, what's up? It's your girl Yummy.com. Thank you for joining me again, internet friends. Thank you for liking, subscribing, overall vibing and being here. Today we are talking about something that is near and dear to my heart that I love and I love to talk about, which is something you probably don't know because I never talk about it on this channel. But as a young wee lad, I was in a school which was talented and gifted. Your girl was gifted. Anyways. And with that being said, we had a really strange curriculum at my school. One of the things we did actually was hold a feast every year for the 5th and 6th grade students. We would spend about half the year studying a specific mythology. And with that, we would combine social studies and English and focus and write research papers on this mythology or our choice of the mythology, whether it be the food, the gods, the time period, and it would rotate every year. And then at the end of the year, you would have a feast in that theme.
We take a point in history and then explain it to other people while learning ourselves.
Students have taken this endeavor around the world. Past symposiums have focused on Greece, India, China, and Africa.
Thinking about it now, probably a little bit problematic that we were all dressing up as Egyptians at that time, but we let it slide. That being said, we went through 3 basic themes where we would study, I say mythologies, we studied the entire culture. We studied the food of that time, of the ancient worlds. But I was always just drawn to the mythology portion because they all had different mythologies. We studied Egyptian, we studied Greek, we studied Chinese. Those were the 3 that we would rotate through. So we were like Europe, and then we go Africa, and then we go Asia. So then we would just bounce through the 3, and then if you were lucky, you got your 2. I think in my 2 years we did Egyptians,
and they did not make me the princess, and I'm still bitter about it to this day.
I learned so much about Greek mythology. Now every culture has a mythology. Even Nigerians have gods and goddesses. I mean, we're very Christian, but we do have, you know, ocean and other gods and goddesses. You can actually, I think a fun way to like start to get to know about it is a book called Children of Blood and Bones. I highly recommend it. It's a good way to like dive into a mythical world that is not Black Panther, but is in Africa, but also references and talks about the gods and goddesses. Don't tell my mom. Amen. She's very Christian, so that, but being said, everyone has their kind of mythology. Even the Norse have their mythology. You know, Thor, that guy, he's a Norse god. So is his father, so is Loki. Those are all Norse.
I am a god, you dull creature.
Puny god.
Actual Norse mythologies turned into comic book characters. So with that being said, I, as you can tell, I'm very passionate about different mythologies, specifically about Egyptian and Greek mythology. Those 2 have always been my favorite. They've always stood out to me. There are these hierarchies, these families, these twisted situations. There are hybrids. There's Percy. There's all of these. There's Achilles. There's all of these things going on, and all these gods all have the same thing in their mind: sex. I don't know why they all just keep fornicating and birthing half-borns.
Greek gods represent humanity at its best and worst. From the violent and destructive Ares to the beautiful and seductive Aphrodite, Greek mythology demonstrates the epic power struggle between parents and children in an endless quest to gain control over the world.
But with that being said, I also connect in my brain to something else that I love, which is K-pop. And one of my favorite comebacks in history, which was technically, I don't think it was a title track, but I think it was a B-side, is Dionysus. By BTS. Dionysus, if you do not know, is the god of they cleanly say it as the god of wine, but he's basically the party god. He's the god of, you know, having sex and worshiping and eating goats and, you know, and just all the wild, like, think about a really rogue frat party at a really white fraternity, and that's his kind of deal. Like keg stands, not keg stands obviously, but like wine and excess and not literally luxury, but like about like, you know, like a kind of taboo time is what this guy is kind of all about. But you know, BTS kind of summed it up and cleaned it up as like the god of wine, the god of drinking. That's not what he is. I mean, that is what he is, but there's more to it. But with that being said, I wondered to myself, with all of the comebacks that are happening, a lot of people fall into doing different concepts. You see New Jeans recently hail themselves into a Powerpuff Girls concept,
Look at some new me, switched it up, move this, booty bump, new jeans, so fresh, so clean.
which I think is amazing. I wish more people would do like interesting concepts that like kind of perpetuate into different medias. And I thought I'd take it upon myself to extend what BTS did and, you know, campaign for a concept, like a truly Greek god concept. But instead of doing like just finding a group and, you know, doing album art and all that stuff, that seems really hard and I don't want to do that. But what I can do is take some of my favorite Greek gods and goddesses and give them K-pop counterparts. For that, I will need my handy dandy notebook. So, I took some of the top 12, according to Google, gods and goddesses. I did omit and, you know, tweak it a little bit because I do have my favorites. And I decided to give them counterparts, and some have multiple, but for a reason. And we are going to stop at the bottom of the list. This is not demeaning any of the gods. Don't strike me down, God. Not my god, but like Greek gods. But I did like obviously there is a hierarchy in the situation. If you watch Percy Jackson, you know the ones that sit around the table, and you know the ones that don't, or you don't know the ones that don't, and that's why you don't know the ones that don't. So starting at the bottom is Demeter. Demeter is a goddess. She is the child of Hades and Persephone, who, wild story there. A wild story. There's also this like cut for a minute. There's also this like dance in this movie called Dance Academy that's an extension of a TV show that tells the story of Hades and Persephone through dance that is really cute and nice, and I'm putting a clip here and it goes through the seasons because that's kind of what it's about.
Were you only imaginary? Where are you now? Atlantis, under the sea, under the sea. Where are you now? Another dream.
With Demeter, she's kind of the goddess of spring. She's kind of like this flower child, for lack of a better word.
Demeter, the goddess of farming and watcher of the harvest. The one thing she prized more than anything else was her daughter, Persephone. It happened that Hades was also interested in Persephone.
And I think she's really just here for vibes. She doesn't really cause a lot of drama, but she's always just here for the vibes. And so I gave that to the K-pop artist Yua. Yua is very much here for vibes. Like, she's like, I'm an oh my girl for vibes, baby. Even in her solo stuff, she does a lot of with flowers and a lot of imagery. Her Bon Voyage comeback was very like of the children of the forest vibes. More specifically, it was I believe inspired by Princess Mokonoa, the Ghibli Studios movie. I never know how to say that name, which is wild because it's all over the movie. Anyways, so it's very much flower child, children of the forest vibes, and I feel like she embodies that very well.
abracadabra, rewind, abracadabra, 잘봐, abracadabra, 빌어봐, hocus pocus. Abracadabra, rewind, abracadabra, 잘봐, abracadabra, 빌어봐, hocus pocus. Abracadabra.
Now we get to Dionysus, the actual man of the hour, BTS's inspo.
God of wine and parties, Dionysus was perhaps the most fun of the Olympians. He had a huge cult following in Greece, where his followers would participate in mass drinking and the orgies his mythological companions were so well known for.
Dionysus, as I said before, was the god of wine, luxury, excess, party, and originally I gave it to S-Coops, okay? S-Coops from 17. I originally gave it to him, and let me explain a little bit why. Because that man can drink. That man is always with a drink, and I kind of love it, and it's a vibe.
Life's too hard, but I can't fall. Now's my chance to live it up. Worked all week and now I'm up. Why you standing against the wall? Cash my checks, so fuck my job. Life's too short, I'll have a ball. I can't say I'm way too old. Why you standing against the wall? Oh yeah, oh yeah. Against the wall. Oh yeah, against the wall.
But upon further, understanding that, of course, I don't want to fall into BTS where I'm like, it's only about drinking. No, it's about partying. It's about excess. It's about the taboo and the luxury. And I decided that, yes, while S-Coops can be under this person, but there's someone who's a little bit more on the nose for that. And that is Mr. Jackson Wang himself. Jackson Wang, if you were not a K-pop girly in the 2010s, that man was in everyone's fan fiction as the party king.
Seeing the same comment that Somi is the 4th gen version of Jackson in fanfics. What does this mean? What was Jackson doing in 3rd gen fanfics?
What's so funny to me is, of course, this is a new era of GOT7, and Jackson's been traveling all over promoting his new album. It makes sense that he'd be making so many appearances right now, but it's just the way that in this particular time, when we were all, as a collective unit, K-pop fans, making fun of Jackson for losing his quote-unquote fanfic party coordinator title to J-Hope from the pre-release party. It's so funny to me that we are seeing clips of him being a fucking baboon in the clubs more than ever. He's making it a point. The timing is so fucking funny. You're telling me that the minute that we all started making jokes that he lost his crown, suddenly he's pulling Henny straight from the bottle. Okay, Jackson.
If there was a fan fiction about K-pop stars going to a party, it was Jackson Wang's party, okay, baby? He is known as the magic man, literally. He is just so doused in, a little bit of controversy, but a little bit of, skepticism, but a little bit of magic, a little bit of drinks, a little bit of partying, a lot of bit of partying, actually, and that it just so much fits his vibe of, just not giving a shit, but wanting to have a good time. While Demeter's, just here for vibes, Dionysus is just here to party. Yeah, it's a lot of drunk alpha sexual energy, which is why I initially said S-Coops, but I think Jackson Wang kind of edges him out a little bit.
And be sure to tell Jackson what a big fan you are of his.
Oh,
don't lie to me right now.
That's crazy. That must have been someone else.
Come on now.
Oh my.
Well, let's have a conversation.
Oh.
Don't stop now, you got me ready to blow.
Ares. Ares is the god of war, I believe, fighting, really aggressive.
Ares was the bloodthirsty and cruel god of war. Neither god nor mortal particularly liked Ares. The warfare he represents is not honourable nor heroic, but rather the primal rage and bloodshed of the battlefield.
But kind of has a sassy side, you know what I mean? Ares is no, no, I think I will bomb you today. I think that's I think the cards are telling me to bomb you. Like, that's the energy that Aries is giving, and not the sign, well, maybe the sign, but like the god. And I decided that I would pick Hongjun.
Slow it down, make it bouncy. 지금부터 fly. 정답은 spicy. 청양고추 vibe. If you wanna know how, I can show you right now. 우리 만들지 bouncy. 우리부터 fly.
Because while Aries is like, you know, the god of like war and fighting and all that stuff, he is also a man of strength and battle tactics. And I feel like Hongjun is very much that energy. But he also has that sassy side that's like, maybe we just bomb you today. Maybe that's the energy we're giving. So I feel like that's kind of a really good matchup.
The word I was looking for was demented. And while, yes, I know that he is a lot more nice than Aries is. Aries is a little bit more bloodthirsty. I think that if you catch Hongjun on the wrong day, it could go south fairly quickly. So that's kind of the energy. It's like I'm strength and I am demented when I'm on stage. I think that Aries matches his stage persona so well. Maybe not so much his regular personality, but his stage presence is very Aries.
Next up, we have Athena.
Athena was then born from his forehead, jumping out in full battle gear while letting out a war cry. Athena had an affinity for heroics, coming to the aid of heroes like Perseus and Hercules.
A little bit like Aries, but more, again, a little bit more of a tactician, if anything. More of a tactician than the god of war, you know what I mean? She is kind of like a little bit, like Aries can be a little bit unhinged, but Athena is like complicated, quiet. She's always thinking of a way to one-up her opponent in the most strategic and thoughtful way. And I think that someone who has that quiet kindness but also super strength is Taeyong from Girls' Generation, also Solo Girly. You know what I mean? First of all, look at these two pictures and tell me they're not basically the same. Second of all, I've never seen a person, I've never seen a person who has so much grace and strength. I'm also watching Queen's Puzzle, so like this is a little bit it, but like so much grace and strength and also protectiveness.
Taeyong comes in, everyone is, I mean, a true goddess of K-pop, I would say. Like, she is so ethereal. Not only she has that beautiful voice, but she looks literally like she's come from like magical place.
I'm starting a petition to change the statuette of the Oscar to
Taeyong
in this outfit. I'm not kidding.
But it's like it comes in a not non-intimidating, but non-threatening way. It comes in of cut the bullshit, this is it. I envy you. Snatched, you know what I mean? It's like an extra bit of tacticianer, but a little bit of like protectiveness, but a little bit of like a gilded vine, if anything, is kind of the vibe and energy that both Athena and Taeyong give. There's wisdom, there's knowledge, there's thought behind those tactical moves. And doing acrobatics and Olympics to stay in the game for as long as she can, I can think of no better counterpart.
And I hate that you're happy without me. And I pray I'ma come up a hockey, baby.
Next up, we have Hermes. Hermes is a snitch. Sorry, he's not a snitch. A lot of people will know Hermes from Percy Jackson because the first villain is the son of Hermes.
And who did? Luke, son of Hermes. You see, he was angry at you. All of you. He wanted you to destroy yourselves.
And like one of the things that he gets are sneakers with wings on them because he's just so quick. Because he's the messenger of the gods. He spreads the messages from here to there to everywhere.
Hermes, the messenger god and patron of thieves. often seen with a winged helmet and sandals, which he used to fly around and deliver messages.
So that means he knows everything. He's not nosy, but he just knows. And who is not nosy but just knows but J-Hope?
Every time I run, every time I move, it's always for us. Every time I look, every time I love, every time I hope, it's always for us.
I can think of nothing funnier than how essentially like I think it was Korea party had a little bit less celebrities than J-Hope's Jack in the Box listening party. Like, J-Hope just knows everyone and knows everything and is cool with everyone, and I feel like he's also the one to be like, he'll give you like a little side eye as a hint, but he will let you make that mistake of trusting that person. He's like, I heard something about it from, you know, the little JYP girlies, but I'm not gonna say nothing. You do you. It's that energy, you know what I mean? And that's very much the energy that Hermes is giving. He knows everything, but he also knows not to interfere with what the gods have divined. Also, the pun of like being quick on your feet is not lost to me with J-Hope, as he is a master dancer and honestly moves his feet with more beats than there are per minute, so just fits. We're going to our next one. So the next one we have are the twins, Apollo and Artemis. And I am doing a gender swap here because I am doing siblings. And they kind of fit in the opposite gender space. So Apollo is very much a god of like, you know, dance, music, chill vibes, but also like, you know, wilderness, edgy kind of area.
Twin brother of Artemis, Apollo was a god of many things. He was a god of archery, but also of light and music, seen with a lyre as much as a bow.
But like, he is most closely related to the sun, while Artemis is most closely related to the wilderness and the nighttime.
Goddess of the hunt and twin sister of Apollo, Artemis was a deadly archer and an important member of Olympus. She watched over hunters as well as their prey, ensuring the wilderness was kept in check.
Athena is like brains, and you know, I feel like Artemis is more described as just like vibes. She is also the goddess of wilderness and kind of, they're both again giving a little bit of baby flower child energy, similar to Demeter, but on a stronger like level, you know what I mean? So I chose for this the duo Acmu. And for Apollo, I gave it to Suyeon, and for Artemis, I gave it to Cheon. And I will explain to you why. Because Apollo is more so, again, related to the sun, more bright, more sunny, and I feel like that energy vibes more with Suyeon. She is kind of like this bright, fun alien that just sings impossible notes and gives happiness and no question or query, but just joy a lot of the times. And I feel like I've given Artemis to Cheon because he is, while he is in the same merriment of dance and revelry and wilderness and energy, he's more nighttime, more silent and quiet, more of a quick killer at the night, you know, at dawn. If you listen to his album that he dropped, you really do feel like the energy, but both of them are kind of these alien figures within K-pop in themselves. You know, they're a duet that's already like their boy-girl duet. Like, Card is the only other people who are mixing genders here, and they just have this weird energy and synergy that just works. And that's why I kind of wanted to do them as siblings, being the twin gods of Apollo and Artemis. Next up, we have Aphrodite. Now, this is the one that has multiple kids, okay? Like, yes, I said Dionysus. It's like, you know, Jackson Wang and S. Coops, but it's really Jackson Wang. This one, it's legitimately like these are her children. These are the sons of Aphrodite.
Aphrodite was the goddess of beauty and love, responsible for sexual attraction in both mortal and immortal alike, often using her powers for her own amusement.
The men who are so beautiful it hurts, that are prettier than you, me, and everyone existing, that literally could use their good looks and evil, and sometimes they do. So you know I'm talking about Junghan, of course. He's on the list of the sons of Aphrodite. This is what I will name them. It is Joshua, Junghan, Yeosang, and Felix.
Alright, oh it's okay. 내 거짓말 다는 건 너뿐이라. Oh, 더 고마워. I always need you. 아직도 나는 걸음이 아득해요. 거친 바람만이 나를 맴돌죠. So raise me up, take me up, 매일 조금 더. Raise me up, take me up, 먼 곳으로. Maniac, 나서 빠진 것처럼 미쳐 maniac. 핑핑 돌아버리겠지. Maniac, Frankenstein처럼 걸어 maniac, maniac.
Those are the sons of Aphrodite. I think Bongyu can go in there a little bit.
Yo, he's prettier than all my exes. Yo, respectfully, like, I'm gonna bring up Stray Kids. Felix, Hyunjin, and Junghan. They have the ability to look prettier than most of your girls watching this. Junghan is prettier than most of you girls watching this. Take her out, shove your ass, and go take a lap. Dude, this club here, the He's Prettier Than You club, Felix, Hyunjin, Junghan, and Bongyu just joined.
But we're gonna keep it to those four strategically because I also just really love when all four of them are blonde as well. They are all stunningly gorgeous creatures, like so seemingly beautiful that you forget how talented they are sometimes, which is insanely hard to do, seeing as Joshua can sing Sunday Morning You into the ground. Junghan can sing and like Joshua can dance, but Junghan, have you seen the man's dance cams? They're ridiculous. There's no reason why. You're a vocalist, sir. Did no one remind you? Why are you singing like this and dancing like this? Why are you dancing like this as a vocalist? It's very, honestly, it's disrespectful to the entire performance unit. You should stop. Then we have Yeosang, who is the quiet killer of K-pop. I feel like there was a really long time period where I was like, Yeosang does not get enough lines. I was one of those girlies. Please forgive me for anything I may have said. And yeah, like, he did it, but like, if you ever just listen to the ones that he has, it's because they knew if they gave him more, we would all die. We would not make it. We would not survive. Have you seen the man's stage presence? It's kind of a killer. Like, and again, Felix, the man rapping, deep voice, he is the shepherd that brought a lot of people to Stray Kids in the first place. His killer looks and the contrast and juxtaposition of his actual voice is insane.
I don't know. I'll take a picture of him and send it to the authorities. Arrest this man. Why? He's guilty of something. I don't know what it is, but he's guilty of it.
So those are the sons of Aphrodite. Hera, who is the mother of all goddesses, that is kind of what she's known for, obviously. She has other stuff, like, she's like, a lot of it has to do with, like, nature and everything. And childbirth, she's the goddess of childbirth, which, fuck you for that one. But she is the mother of all goddesses.
Hera, sister and wife of Zeus and queen of the gods, was the protector of marriage and women. She was deeply respected in Greek society.
She's the highest ranking female. If you were to rank them, she's the highest. She's Zeus's wife. Like, he may have all these side and children running around, but she's the number one. And with that being said, of course, we had to put our number one queen, Miss CL, as Hera. Like, there's just no one else I could consider the thought. Like, if I say mom, I think of her. Not like in a weird way, but like in like mother, like who is serving mother? That is mother. It's CL. It's CL, of course. Like, again, she's another person who I feel like shepherded a lot of people into K-pop, like within her group, obviously, but also I feel like I remember a lot of people like realizing Hello Bitches existed and was like, what is this music? And all of a sudden got back into K-pop.
I don't want any of you guys wasting my time. I love K-pop. I don't want to be a part of you disrespecting it.
No, I'm not disrespecting it. I think I love K-pop too. So let's make this video together,
you know what?
please.
You fucked up in Korea. Annyeong.
Like, it was a lot of people re-getting into K-pop because of CL's Hello Bitches specifically. But yeah, so obviously I had to choose her as mother, as goddess divine mother.
My boys won't hesitate to run up on your boys.
I stand by my thought as CL. I know an alternate, and I think that this one may even be a little bit of a stronger contender, but Boa is for sure also, like, I would say Hera as well. Her song Woman is literally like the anthem, and
feels good to be a
woman.
obviously everyone knows my name, and she's just super talented and she's well known. She was dubbed as the queen of K-pop. She is still one of the most famous and influential soloists to ever exist.
Next up we have Poseidon. Poseidon is an interesting one. We know him again back to the Percy Jackson film. He is the main god in that one because it is all about Percy, who is his son, Perseus. Percy is short for Perseus, who is an actual demigod, like, that has to go through trials and tribulations, fights one-eyed creature, lots of stuff that he does. Greek mythology is so fun. Poseidon is known as the god of the sea. He is constantly related and correlated to the moon and the sea, mostly the sea because the moon controls the sea a little bit, but like mostly the sea. That's literally his whole shtick, his whole thing.
Poseidon, one of the most powerful gods, ruled the sea, created earthquakes, and was the god of horses.
So I gave him to Taeyang from from Big Bang.
Yeah, this gon' be the one and only theme song. 나에게만 고정된 내 시선. 내게 너란 하나뿐인 mission. 불가능은 없어, baby, lights, camera, action.
One of the reasons is because I googled Taeyang from Big Bang, and like I love him. I do love, like, again, Big Bang was again one of the. Shiny was the inception, but like Big Bang was there to shepherd me along in my high school days of listening to K-pop. But really, what really got me is, if you Google that man, he's almost never not wet, is what I mean. Like, he's like, his hair is like always, especially in his, I'm gonna say mature age, his hair is always like wet, like slicked back, gelled, something. Like, the man looks like he's freshly from a pool whenever he walks onto the grace. And yes, he moves his body like a wave, so like, of course that also rings true in my head. But really, a lot of it is because he always looks wet. I mean, also, again, commands a lot of respect on the stage, is kind of one of the clearer heads within Big Bang itself. But yeah, I would say Taeyang. It sounds like I'm saying Taeyang, but I'm saying Taeyang.
너의 눈, 이날 만지던 네 손길, 작은 손톱까지도 여전히 널 느낄 수 있지만.
For Hades, who is the god of hell, the underworld, you know, he is the husband of Persephone. Not by her choice, he did kidnap her.
Hades, the oldest of the brothers, ruled over the underworld, where the spirits of the dead resided. He shared his throne with his wife, Persephone, and the two were considered to be gods of fertility.
I wanted to give someone who I have recently made a video and was not well received about, and someone who this is a compliment, of course, because we have to, as much as we disrespect Hades, I mean Hercules did not help his case, not Hercules the person, but Hercules the movie.
Things in the underworld. Well, they're just fine. You know, a little dark, a little gloomy, and as always, hey, full of dead people. What are you gonna do?
He is still a strong contender and on par with, in so many ways, and a force to be reckoned with within Greek mythology. He is an important figure that we must respect, and that is Jay Park. I gave it to Jay Park because Jay Park is like, he just gives me the energy of like, it's that one clip of him going like, I could be a very bad man if I wanted to be. That was just like, oh, you're Hades. You're Hades.
I could be a very, very bad man if I wanted to.
It's Hades. It's like, it's when, I feel like that's what Hades said when he kidnapped Persephone. He was like, I could be a very bad man if I wanted to be. It's that energy. It's that bad boy energy. Like, he is a heightened sexual creature. At least his performance character is, and he also irks my nerves. So I just figured Jay Park makes the best sense. Also, like, seeing Jay Park surrounded by flames, not in like I want to send him to hell, but like as an imagery on stage, actually looks pretty fucking cool, especially with all his tattoos. You know, just gives me that energy.
Those on deck, baby, we're your crew. Bad girl, you should come through. You should get with you.
With that, we get to our last person, our biggest contender, our piece de resistance, Mr. Zeus himself. He is really the god of gods. He's the father if Hera is the mother. He is the one in charge. He hurls lightning bolts, as you will see in Hercules if you did watch it. And he is essentially who is in charge.
Zeus, king of the gods, ruled from his throne on Mount Olympus, home of the immortals, often using his symbols of the thunderbolt and eagle to warn or encourage mortals.
And I chose someone who is rightfully so, I think, in this place. He has been on top for decades. Millions of people were inspired to become idols because of him. Millions of people still cover his songs to this day. I'm not talking about you, JYP. I'm talking about Rain. Rain is so universal that he's beyond K-pop. Like, obviously, yes, he is K-pop. Like, he is some of the most iconic and spectacle-driven person that is a performer, but he's also in K-dramas. He's also just universally loved and liked. He's been on top for decades. For decades. He has been, I'm talking the 90s. He's been eating these hoes up since the 90s, guys.
I made this video before the KCON semi-Black Ocean of 2023. I'm not entirely sure about the situation, but I do stand by idols who've been mismanaged.
1, 2, 3, let's chase the fame. Scream out my name.
I hope all the members of Cypher find success, and in my eyes this actually makes Rain even more like Zeus, because he was also a garbage father to his children. Not saying that Rain is a garbage father to his actual children, but his K-pop kids he is, apparently.
And naming him as Zeus. If you disagree, shove your opinion somewhere else. No, I'm kidding. Talk about it in the comments. I will gladly explain a little bit more if you want. But with that being said, that is our Greek goddesses and gods 12, okay? I mean, more than 12 because, you know, S. Coop snuck in there, and then there's a whole slew of kids for Aphrodite, which honestly really makes sense because she is the goddess of love. She probably do be fucking. Anyways, with that being said, those are it. If you want to do a Greek mythology concept, I would highly recommend it. Send it to me if someone actually has done it. But with that being said, I'm Yummy.com. Thank you for listening and watching. Don't worry, I'll be back, so stay tuned, my internet friends.